Hello YouTube, Cameron here. I'm back at the farm dump again, and haven't found much yet. I am in a new section, and I just found my first find. Don't think I'm gonna take it, but it is a really pretty jar. But it's on embossed. I decided not to take it, but it's some sort of condiment jar. A really nice swirl though. Just making sure it's unembossed. And yeah, but I'll put it somewhere safe. It is really pretty, even if it's not worth taking. So I don't want to ruin it. I just found a bottle that would have been nice. Unfortunately, I discovered it's badly, and I mean badly cracked. It's a nice perfume. An older one too. Hopefully I'll find another in better condition. I accidentally unburied a little toad. Sorry, I'll rebury you very gently under the leaves. I'm sorry, my little man. Poor guy, I'm so sorry. Fortunately, I didn't injure him, so that's good. Just got an amazing Art Deco bottle, first one in a while, and I found my friend found a shard of this a while ago, and as I mentioned in the previous video, I've been looking for one ever since. And so it was right next to it, because there's a small gap in between two areas I dug, so I was closing down that gap in the 1930s section, and look what I found! Atlantic Bottling Works Art Deco from Port Chester. Unfortunately, it does have one bruise, but if you look at it, you can tell it's an old bruise because it has rust in it, but I'll still be very careful not to let it fall out. Whoa, this is great. Hopefully it doesn't develop any more bruises. Right now it just has one minor one. Whoa, nice. Still digging, haven't found anything else yet, but I did just find what would have been a really nice painted labeled cup. Whoa, look at that, cobalt. Just got my second good find. It's not amazing, but it's good. Probably from the 40s. Sunsweet prune juice. Pretty good for selling, but unfortunately I already have a better version in my collection. A more decorated version. I have like a hexagon shaped version. Yeah, that's a nice find. I'll put it to the side and keep on digging. Got a vintage spoon on top of a broken plate. Let's see if the spoon's any good. Looks like the kind that might have a business name on it. Can't tell yet. I might have to polish it up at home. Yeah, I can't tell yet. It's too soon to tell. I don't think so though, but I could be wrong. Something interesting. If I remember correctly, this is part of a boiler. This is number 1 Hoffman siphon. Yeah. That's a patent date of 1913. Huh. Good for art though. Even though it's not really of any collectible value. It's got a nice milk glass. It's a Yardley from England. Really beautiful. Fortunately, it's only base embossed, but I'll take it for selling at the very least. I'm not sure if it's going to go in my collection. Yeah. Hi guys, just found something kind of interesting. All the embossed ammonia I found so far has been made by Parsons, and I've been leaving it behind. I just found one from a different company, OCAP. There probably is ammonia. You can see it still has a little bit of a label. I can see ammonia right there. It's AMM, which probably is ammonia. And it's the style of an ammonia bottle. Anyway, I'm real deep here. Let me put on the light. It's got a decent find. It's some sort of like condiment of some sort, but it's a really fancy container. Look at that, it's paneled and everything. If it would have had a lid, hopefully I'll find it. I think this might actually have been reusable from looking at it. It's really, really thick. Yeah, whoa. Nice. Put it to the side. Okay, look guys, look, I just found the lid right next to where it was. Fortunately it's damaged, but I'm still gonna take the lid, of course. Nice. It was reusable, that's a good find. And the funny thing, I was just talking about how I hadn't found... Okay, guys, I'm back. One moment, I just need to clean my lens, and I have something cool to show you. I'm not gonna keep it, it's not in good enough condition, but look at this. It's a vintage bread bag. Probably 1960s or so. Look at this. Tip top, Mr. Big, white enriched bread. Look at that, that's cool. It's old, probably 60s or so. Made with pure vegetable shortening. Let me know if you think I should come back for this. I'll put it somewhere where I can find it again. I think it's too far gone though. If it was in like mint condition, I would take it, which I have found once, but then my brother destroyed it because he was being... I don't want to talk about that. Hey Ellie, I love how you always join me whenever you know I'm filming. Like if I sit here and I'm not filming, somehow she knows and she doesn't always come over. Whenever she sees me take my camera out, she's like, hello Noah, I'm gonna be in your video. Oh, she's such a good girl. Oh yeah, I have to get to filming. Okay, hey guys, I'm back with the review. Let's get started. First we'll start with stuff out here. It is, first, there's this Max Factor from Hollywood, Max Factor Hollywood makeup container. She has a little bit of makeup inside. And it's from either the 40s or 50s, I'd guess. It's plastic, but it's older plastic. Then there's this vintage baby doll. Unfortunately, he's missing his legs, but he does have his arms, which is normally when I find these dolls are missing their legs and arms. So this guy's got his arms, which is something. And he has some original paint too. And he says on the back, Renwall number 8, USA, which I'll have to look up to get some information on. Well, Ali, I don't want to block you. If you want to go back over there. Here. Want to go? You want to just stand there? Okay, she's good. Wanted to make sure I wasn't trapping her. And then let me show you what was underneath it. I have not researched yet, so I'll have to update you. I should really do my research in advance. Normally I do, but I've been very busy. Normally I try to, at least. This is a oil can lid. Unfortunately, I did not find the can itself, which especially sucks, because the can, at least based on the lid, probably would have been aluminum, in which case it might have been in decent shape. Oh well, maybe someday I'll dig it. I don't want to think about it too much, because then I'll be tempted to go digging again today, which I don't have time. The last time I actually had time to go digging was yesterday, which I did do a dig, which is not what I'm showing right now. But the last time I actually had time to go digging was Monday, and today is Tuesday. I don't have time. And by the time I do have time, the ground will be frozen. So that's unfortunate, but yeah. So this is new formula with liquid tungsten, which is pretty interesting. I wonder what kind of oil that would be, whatever it would have been. Something car related though, for sure. Yeah. Let's see. There's this toothbrush, kind of interesting. Yep. Let's see what else. Ellie, don't go back to the delicates box again. Why are you... Jelly, I'm trying to be gentle. Back up, back up, back up. I don't want to be too rough with you. I don't want to be rough with you at all. Why does she always want to go inside the delicates box? It pisses me off, but I love her. So, I'm very gentle. Don't worry. Then there's this, which may or may not say something on it. I'm going to take it home and update you once I polish it up. Don't worry, I don't over polish it. I just... And the way the polish works that I have is really what it does is it removes the crustiness and stuff. And unless I polish it excessively, it won't get shiny or anything. It will still stay tarnished, which is good, like for showing age. It'll just be enough that I can actually read it, if it says anything. Which we'll see. It's the style of spoon that usually or at least quite frequently says something. The last one of these of this style I dug into done was a USA military spoon from, I don't know exactly how old. Pre-World War II. Then there's this really nice Yardley's cosmetic bottle. Really beautiful milk glass. That might actually be good enough to go in my collection. Unfortunately, I did get a scratch from my rake on the bottom, which for some reason shows up in a metallic color. Which makes me think it's low quality metal in my rake if it's coming off on the glass. Which sucks, but nothing I can do about it. Either that or I don't find anything. Oh, sounds like someone's got their dog outside. And this is unfortunately melted, but it's a cool drink stirrer with a lobster on top. It's probably a seafood restaurant. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's all melted. So not only is it missing the end, but you can't read the brand name. Still going to be good for art though, unless I am able to identify it, which depends on how unique its lobster was. Like if it was just for seafood restaurants, and like if it was only made for one restaurant, or if multiple restaurants use the same design. Then I got this nice Sunsweet prune juice. Nice. Yeah. Then, let's see. I got this really nice, this is probably the best one I've dug in this dump. Not the best one I've dug ever, but the best in this dump. However, the Dundee Marmalade. It's extremely crude. Look how messed up the label is. I don't know why. It's not much older than the other ones, if at all. I think it might be a bit older, it might be 1930s rather than 1940s. I don't think it's that much older. And it's very heavy, dark color. And look how it's they missed a lot of the glaze on the bottom, which is interesting. And it has a different style mark than the other ones. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, I'll be very gentle with that. Then there's this, which unfortunately did develop some bruises, but it is quite old, and in fact probably will turn purple if I put it in the sunlight. And it has the original lid. It's a pitcher for either salad dressing or maybe syrup, something like that. Pretty nice, and I do believe it is blown. Unfortunately, it did develop a lot of bruises, but on the other hand, it is Pontiled. But it's not Pontiled era, to be clear. It's Pontiled, but it's not Pontiled era. A lot of this art glass, thick glass, for reusable pictures and any other sort of artsy glass, would be Pontiled even well into the 1900s. So this is probably early 1900s though, based on the style and how thick it is. Even though it was in the 1930 section, they probably used it for a few, based on the amount of wear, they probably used it for a while before throwing it out. As to why they throw it out, I don't know, maybe the lid broke. Because the only damage here is, the only damage here that I think would stop me from using it if it wasn't old, that is. Like, I mean, back then, is that it has some bruises. It does have significant wear, but it's not like that bad. Then, let me just make sure there's nothing else. I see there is more stuff, but you know what? Sometimes it's better not to save the... I think, you know, I will save the best for last, so maybe you'll keep watching until the end. This is probably 1940s or so, or 30s, veterinary medicine. It's the mange cure from H. Clay Glover Co. I once dug the 1800s version of this, which is blown and also much nicer embossing. I had to get rid of it because it had this chemical. Don't worry, I didn't throw it out. I just didn't keep it in my collection. I had to get rid of it because it had the original content and it smelled so strong it stunk up my whole room. It didn't smell bad, to be clear. It smelled quite good. It smelled like mesquite barbecue kind of. It's made of creosote, which is comes from wood. I forget what kind of wood. But anyway, it smells good and it's safe, but it's too strong. Yeah, this is I went creek hunting to actually, which I did not film. I went after this dig, I went bottle hunting with my friend, which is where some of these finds are from, which is why I didn't film during the time I was at the dump with him. Even though the first part I got some of this stuff, but a lot of it's from when I went back to the dump with him later on in the day. I also went creek hunting with him and bottle hunting along a roadside. And in the creek, I did find one early 1900s beer bottle, but it was only based in Boston. It was a common one, so I didn't take it. But I also found the remains, which I will film next time I visit it, because we are planning to come back to it to see if we can find like a heart ornament or some other piece that would be worth saving. I just need to come back because I didn't have the right tools with me. Anyway, I found this mystery object in the river. At first I thought it might be an animal trap, but now that I look more closely, I have no idea what it is. Let me know if you know. Maybe some electrical thing or something. I have no idea. It's quite crusty. It looks quite old. Don't know what it is though. And let's see. There's this thing which is part of a boiler. It's a Hoffman siphon. It's a #1 Hoffman siphon air valve. And it has some pretty old patents, 1913 and 1917. And let's see, what else is in there? It's just a Inca Hawking mason lid, probably from the 40s. I'll be able to use that though because I do have an Inca Hawking jar. And then my best find, unfortunately it did develop a few bruises, but not enough to ruin it. What I mean is it's still worth keeping. This one was pre-existing, as you can tell, because there's rust stains in it. And the one on the base was pre-existing too, even though I didn't notice it when I first dug it. So as you can see, it also has rust stains in it, that little bruise there. So you have to be very gentle to make sure those bruises don't fall out. And it did develop one minor bruise, in addition to the two pre-existing ones. So fortunately, most of the damage was already there. But look at this, it's a beautiful Art Deco, my first Art Deco in months. I don't know exactly how long. The reason it's been so long is because mostly I've been digging in the 1930s and they were dumb. All the last Art Deco I dug was in the 1920s stuff. Anyway, it's an Atlantic bottling works. I have dug several bottles from this company, and I think I mentioned in the previous video that my friend had dug a shard of this, that I really wanted to dig a whole one, and then I did. Whoa, it's probably like, I'm looking at the date code, and if I'm reading it correctly, let me look at it. The Glenshaw Glass Company. That's what the G stands for. This logo. And which has a date code on the crown. And it's from Port Chester, New York. Forgot to mention that. Really nice. Let's see the date code. If I'm reading the date code correctly, it's 1940. But I could be wrong, it could be older. Actually, based on the thickness, I'd guess more like 30s. I might be reading the date code wrong. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at the information for how to read the date code for this glass company in a long time. I don't remember it that well. But according to the date code, I should be able to see what factory it was made in, among other things. Okay, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. Time to... I know it's taking me longer and longer to think about good outros, but normally I'd base... it's okay. Time to swim away.